And I'm asking, has the Grand National gone past its sell-by date? The Grand National, a celebrated event in horse racing, faces mounting scrutiny over its ethical and practical dimensions. And whilst the sport lies in its rich history, captivating atmosphere and this lucrative betting opportunities that are available, there are a lot of concerns over animal welfare and also the ethical implications of gambling, which cast a shadow over the future of this annual event. Now, the stark reality of horse racing and the toll it has on its participants, there's lots of studies that revealed alarming injury and fatality rates among competing horses, which has prompted a necessary re-evaluation of the sport's practices. I mean, only yesterday, 2 horses died during Ladies' Day at the festival as animal charities called for an end to the event. So what do you think? It's coming to a close this weekend, but what are your thoughts? So for the Great British Debate this hour, I'm asking, has the Grand National gone past its sell-by date? Well, joining me now to discuss, Benedict Spence, political commentator, Brendan Powell, Grand National winning jockey of 1988, and Dene Stansall, horse racing consultant, animal aid from Animal Aid. Right, I'm going to start with you. Brendan Powell, you're a Grand National winning jockey, 1988. What do you think about the Grand National? Is it a bit, do we need to move on from it now?
I don't think so, Nana. I've just watched a race there. I saw 2 fallers at the chair. Both got up and galloped off. Caroch Rambler, who won it last year, unseated at the first, so didn't actually fall. And I think for the first time ever, I've never seen so many horses there with a chance turning into the straight. It looked a great race. They went a sensible pace. A lot of horses finished out the race very well. So, yeah, I just thought it looked a great race, and the best horse on the day won it.
But what about the welfare for the horses? Did your horse appear to enjoy what it was doing, and how would you know if it did?
Well, if he didn't enjoy it, they wouldn't want to do it. I mean, you can't force an animal to do anything. And the time before he won the National, he fell in the Gold Cup at the third last. He popped around Aintree. He actually got an injury in the race, which we could have. Yeah, he cracked a small bone in his hock. We could have brought him back again, but because he won the National, the owners decided to retire him, and he retired and had a great retirement back at the owner's place. But no, look, it's, as I said, things have changed over the years. Fences got a lot smaller. I mean, watching it today, most of the fences are, especially Beechers, Valentine's, the chair, all the what I call dangerous parts of them, and taking out the drops at Beechers and the whole lot. And watching all the horses go around there today, they all seem to jump very well. And I think it was the same yesterday in the Topham Trophy, or the Topham. There were so many horses got round. There was no fallers. So yeah, we're doing everything we can to keep it as safe as possible.
Dene Stansall, what are your thoughts on this? Because I don't think I hear what Brendan is saying, but I don't know if the horse feels it has to do what you want it to do. Otherwise, don't they have like a whip and then they have something here in their mouth and that the bit and all that? Surely this isn't nice for the horses.
Exactly, Nana, you've got it spot on there. We saw horses being whipped today. The bits in the mouths are very severe on some of the horses, and the only way you can control these half-ton, 500 kg horses is with the bit in the mouth, and they drag them around and pull them around with these, and we don't actually see the damage that actually goes on behind the scenes. Brendan gave a very sanitised version of the race, a very good commentary on what happened today. But what he didn't go into is the fact that horses die every week on British racecourses. So we can't just sort of say today's Grand National was safe when horses are getting killed nearly every day on racecourses. Around 150 jump horses a year get killed on racecourses across Britain, and I think the Grand National epitomises all that is wrong with racing, because it's historically been so dangerous and has killed so many horses in the past.
Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for them in a way, but I hear that if they didn't want to do it, they wouldn't do it, but I don't think they've got a choice. They have to do it, don't they, Benedict?
I mean, yeah, I think we have to take several things into account. I'm not a fan of horse racing. It's just never been my sport in particular. I don't see the appeal of it, but a lot of people do. I think we need to recognize that horses have been specifically bred for this purpose over centuries, actually, and so that there is a degree of, the horses that are the most successful at it being the ones that, perhaps it's wrong to say enjoy it, but are best at it and understand what is required of them, and therefore have a bit more of a natural instinct. But what I'd say is ultimately this is different to other sort of animal-based, blood sports, things like bullfighting or fox hunting or things like that, in that actually this carries sort of widespread, massive appeal to a lot of very wealthy individuals across the world. This isn't actually just, sort of a casual pastime. Huge amounts of money are invested in this sport by, sheikhs and American billionaires and everybody you could possibly think about. It is a sport that is enjoyed from the Americas to the Gulf to China. There is a lot of vested interests, therefore, in keeping the sport going. And I think maybe, therefore, if it is going to have to sort of require more safetyism involved, you might see a little bit more of that. But is it on the way out? Even if it loses appeal amongst the average member of the British public, as an international spectacle, no. This is one of the high points, I think, of the international racing calendar, and there's far too much money tied up in it and far too much interest tied up in it for it to die a death, I think. So even if the average punter doesn't perhaps feel as interested as they used to, I think simply because of the scale of it on the international stage, I think its future is more than secure.
All right, listen, well, thank you for that. So I'll ask you, each of you, so is it time for the Grand National to just pack up and go away? Benedict Spence?
No, it isn't.
Brendan Powell? Yes?
Definitely not.
And Dene Stansall, what do you think? What's your thought?
Yeah, we've certainly got to get rid of it. I mean, I respect both the views of Brendan and Benedict, but the fact is we're seeing a decline in people going to racecourses. We're seeing the racing industry having to come out with a new PR campaign this week called PWR. We would say that's poor welfare record, but the racing industry might say differently. What we're seeing is the lower end of racing is collapsing because there's not enough money there for the horses. We're seeing horses going for slaughter. Yeah, sure, the top end's buoyant, but the bottom end that really underpins racing is very, very fragile and vulnerable.
Well,
and that is where it will crumble.
That's where it will crumble.
As a whole is turning against.
Do you think? I think a lot of people will love it. I mean, I personally, I don't particularly have an opinion either way, but I don't like seeing animals being upset. But if they're having a good time, who knows? Benedict Spence, thank you so much for your thoughts. Brendan Powell and also Dene Stansall, thank you.